Welcome to the Sun Grand channel. I'm glad you're here. My name is Jarrell Dulay. I develop games for a living, and today on Good Vibes Only, we are going to discuss why Grand Theft Auto 6 is launching at $100 USD. This is interesting. The price that we see here is the Australian price for the Ultimate Edition. Now, there will be two versions of GTA 6. There will be the standard version and the Ultimate Edition. The standard version is set at $80 USD, while the Ultimate Edition is set at $100. Now, why is this happening? There is disc-locked content that will only be available if you purchase the Ultimate Edition. Now, in the past, we would have just seen this as add-on content that was created and added to the game afterwards, but this is not the same thing, and this is not innocuous. This is not harmless. This isn't some cool bonus for people that just want to support these poor, struggling indie developers. This is a multi-million dollar studio that has all the funding in the world. And this is one of the biggest franchises, one of the most important, most well-known IP in the entire world. And what they are doing here is forcing people to just give them more money. By having two prices, you have the lower price and you have the higher price, and then saying, oh, you can have this cheaper version. You're making people feel like they have an inferior version of the game by locking content that already has been made and it's already in the game. This is, again, not content that was created after the game was published and after people have already played the game and they're adding more content. That is not what this is. This is content that is already in the game. It's already been developed, and people simply have to pay more money to access it. You will see people online that defend this behavior, but this is not innocuous. This is not harmless, because other developers, other major studios will follow suit and they will start disc locking content. And if we say, oh, it's fine to disc lock content, there will be no limit to how much developers and publishers will lock content on discs, and it will only snowball from here. So let's take a look at what we have in the Ultimate Edition. We have a 95 Grotti Cheetah. Don't know what that is. Hawk and Little Morgan revolver. Personalized weapon variants. Vice City styles. It says whether poolside or side-by-side Jason and Lucia can look the part with exclusive outfits, hairstyles, tattoos, and more. Okay, safe house vehicles. Ganado retro build. A Shih Tzu Squalo. This is a word salad to me. These are not registering with me here. 67 Vapid Dominator, Buggy and Garage, Good Time Gear, Pit Youngin Compound, Classic Car Collection, Ride Customs, Sarah Unisex Saloons, Stock 305, Electric Fang Tattoo, and One-Eyed Willie's. Visit Lake Leonidas, Storied Mod Shop. So there's a couple mod shops in here. I think there are two mod shops in here that are available that are in the Ultimate. And this is problematic because this whole exercise is just an excuse to set a higher base price for the full game. That's all this is. They're saying, oh, you don't want to have a shittier version than your friends. Your friends paid the $100. Are you not as good as them? Are you more poor than your friends? You only bought the $80 version? Well, your friend has a better version of the game. And they know that people will be susceptible to this kind of psychology. That is why this exists. It's to make people feel like they're getting an inferior version of the game to justify forcing people to pay more money. This isn't some struggling indie studio. What this is greed. It's dishonesty, it's lying, and it's greed from Rockstar Studio. Now we'll discuss the situation with the physical editions. There is a physical edition of the game that if you go on their website, it's buried pretty far into their website, but it does say that there is no disc included. It is a code in a box. There will be people that will defend this that don't care. They don't care that it's a code in a box. The problem is that this is called a physical edition, but it is not a physical edition. This is entirely dishonest. This is lying to you consumers, because there will be people who do not know better and who don't look up the information, who don't hear this stuff online. They will go to the store, they will buy what they think is a physical edition. Sure, there will be some fine print on the box that says there's no disc, it's a download code, but the reason why the publisher is doing this is for two reasons. One, they earn significantly more revenue because they don't have to pay for the production of the discs. Generally, when you buy physical media to produce, that incurs a cost. There's an investment capital into that. You have to pay for that media, and you earn less. So you earn significantly more revenue from selling a digital copy of the game. Now, what also I believe the developer has, or the publisher has admitted this, is they want to combat the secondhand market. So you cannot buy a secondhand copy of the game. You won't see stores selling used copies of this. Now, this is something that I agree and disagree with, but not the way that Rockstar is doing it. I disagree that stores like, for example, EB Games or GameStop, they make a huge amount of money from selling pre-owned copies, and they make money from that because people trade in their game, they get store credit, and then they resell the game for $5 cheaper than just buying it brand new, $10 cheaper than buying it brand new. And when shops do that, the developers don't get any of that. The developers earn no money, so people are buying, and all of the profits, 100% of the profits, goes to retailers like EB Game and GameStop. I believe that there should be a second-hand market. I say that, no, we shouldn't cut that out. It sucks for the developers and the publishers. They don't get any money. But you know what? We need lower-priced options for people to be able to pick up games. Sometimes an $80 game is just too much for people. $70, $60 is a huge amount. And being able to pick up a used copy of a game for 15, 20 bucks, that may be the only way that some people get a chance to play certain games. But the way that Rockstar doing it right out of the gate, it sucks. I really don't like what they've done here, in that they're actively saying, no, nobody gets to have pre-owned copies, no second-hand market. All of the profits go to them. You combine this with the fact that they're lying and basically scamming people into paying $100 for this game. And if you want to defend it, that's totally fine. I know there's massive, massive fans of GTA. I'm not saying that you shouldn't support this game. I'm not saying that you're stupid for supporting this game. It's a game that you like, buy it. I really don't care. What I don't like is Rockstar being so dishonest and being so scummy with their practices here. There are reports online saying that the install size will be more than 600 gigabytes. I believe that is fake. These seem like fake leaks that people like to put the stuff online that they like to generate revenue and through ads, and they get attention on social media. I don't believe that 600 gigabytes would be the install size. GTA 5 on PS5, I believe, is 87 gigabytes or something to that effect. Realistically, I'm looking at this game. Realistically, I would say 150 to 200 gigabytes is a realistic expectation for GTA 6. All of these textures, if you take a look at the textures here, in the past, 4096 by 4096 pixels for each part of a material. A material, generally, if we're looking at this, they're most of the time composed of 4 image files. That is your albedo map, which is your color, your normal map, which defines your bumpiness, your specular map, which defines how shiny and glossy something is, and number 4, your occlusion map, which helps define how much light the geometry can receive and how much it can express in terms of catching the light. So those are 4. When you have textures that are 4096 by 4096 pixels, that's a huge amount of storage size. We compress those as game developers. We have to manually decide and choose to compress textures. So there can be a negligible loss of quality. There's a reduction of quality that's so small you wouldn't even notice it anyway. But I believe that these are not using 4096. Most likely these, for the high quality stuff, the characters, we're seeing 8192 by 8192, and that is going to cause file sizes to be gigantic, absolutely enormous. So I think a reasonable file size would be 150 to 200 gigabytes. That's my estimation based on what we've seen from the game and what we can expect from the game. Now, the game looks fantastic. It's going to be fun. That's not the problem here. The game's going to be good. There's no question about it. The problem here comes from the way of monetization and pricing here, and it's dishonest and scummy. I don't really like what Rockstar is doing, but you can feel free to defend that if you would like. For this particular situation, for this launch with GTA 6 and Rockstar, they're going to earn a rating of the gentleman's no thank you. Rockstar for GTA 6? No thank you.